Hey there. Still pregnant. So I am actually I'm eating pineapple for breakfast. Almost done. I started this one yesterday, and almost done with it. And I have another one in the wings waiting to be chopped up. Apparently you have to eat the entire thing. I mean, excluding the like tops and the rind, to make it work. And then I have red raspberry leaf tea, and I am bouncing on an exercise ball, but I'm going to try and not bounce too much right now. I'm going to do more like of a small circle hip thing, so I'm not just like this, because that would be really annoying. So this one I am extending further on the body dysmorphia thing. If you haven't seen the original video, I will put it down in the description since we can't do annotations anymore. So this one's going to be a lot about how I've been dealing with body dysmorphia during my pregnancy. I had to like type a lot of stuff out, write a lot of stuff down, because I was like, I know I've been dealing with it, but I also wanted to think like, well, how have I been able to cope with it without letting it like win? Because it is. So basically, when getting pregnant, you will have to deal with, weight gain somewhat, a healthy weight gain. Sometimes you gain more weight than you'd like, but it's all for the betterment. How your body is recompositioning itself, meaning if you had a lot of muscle to start with, you're probably going to lose some of that muscle and put some fat on. And then also, now that we live in a super techie age, I have Time Hop on my phone, and I get Time Hop notifications every day. And they're always showing old pictures. And you know how it's like really weird that when you look at old pictures of yourself, you're like, wow, I looked so good back then. But then you kind of think like where your mind was when you took that picture, and you're like, why did I think I looked so bad? So you deal with a lot of that right now. The earlier pictures weren't as bad, I guess, because like how everything was happening. When I was in my earlier stages of pregnancy, I wasn't super into like weightlifting or being lean yet. And now as I'm getting like further along in my pregnancy, I'm starting to see the Time Hop pictures come up. And I'll show a few, and I'll show like what I look like when they were taken, because I've been wanting to like do that, because that's one of the things that's kind of helped me get over a lot of the body dysmorphia stuff. So when the old pictures started popping up, I also had to think like, well, I was at a different time. That was at a different time. I wasn't pregnant. I was able to do stuff like and then kind of think back like, well, where was I mentally? It's like, oh yeah, I might have weighed 138 pounds, but I was on like a super restrictive diet, which looking back at it really wasn't the healthiest. So I needed to also think like, where was my mind during that time? So some of the things that have helped me kind of also stay away from going into like a dark place, or starting to try to restrict calories, start like, panic attacks, anxiety, breakdowns, all of that even though I have kind of had a little bit of anxiety, these are like some things that have really helped. And I don't think a lot of the people who were involved knew what they were doing. So one thing, first and foremost, is I have a very, very supportive husband with my pregnancy. He is very, like, he knows, because he also had to deal with body dysmorphia and deals with it as well. So he's very supportive, especially when, like, the Time Hop pictures will pop up, and I'm like, oh. He's just like, you can get back to that. Like, you did it before. You're pregnant right now. That's what's most important. Like, yeah, cool. You look different. That's not a big deal. And so, that's been really supportive to let me know, like, you can get back to it. It's not like, this is temporary. This isn't forever. And so that's kept a lot of it away. He loves me. He hasn't made like mean, rude comments like, God, you got fat, or anything like that. He's been very supportive, especially making sure that I'm still like being active. And even though I can't lift weights like I used to, he's still like, hey, let's walk around. Let's, just get active. Because I know that if you don't, you'll be upset about it. So he's been really supportive with making sure that my health is foremost. And he cooks a lot too, so that helps, because then I don't have to like think about it or get lazy and like eat like crap, even though there have been some of those days. Second was I had a doctor who didn't really care very much for my weight gain. We talked about weight gain in the beginning, and she was like, I'm really not concerned because you came in weighing pretty low for your height, and I know that you lift a lot of weights, and I could tell that you had more muscle mass on you, so I'm not really concerned about it. So she was more so concerned about like my blood results, urine results, blood pressure, stuff like that, that is more indicative of an issue than just gaining weight. So that was really nice. And once I kind of told her about what was happening, she was very understanding about it, and that's been really cool. So definitely a doctor that like supports you and won't body shame you, like, oh, you're only 6 months pregnant but you've gained 30 pounds. Like, that can happen. So she wasn't really too worried about it. And then lastly, I've had a lot of friends and coworkers who just like dote on me, and other family members, I should say. But I see friends and coworkers more. Who just like absolutely dote on me about, it's almost embarrassing. About like, oh my God, your pregnancy, you know, you're glowing, you look so happy. Oh, I can't believe how tiny you are. Just a lot of like nice comments about not just like body comments, but you know, you're still so active. That's awesome. So that's been a lot as well. So really the body dysmorphia stuff only creeps in when I'm like kind of by myself, or I feel like a little down, like, oh, this shirt used to be huge on me and now it's tight, like, or, oh, I can't see like, you know, muscle striations or muscle cuts anymore. So those have been nice. So a lot of the time I have more positivity going on than the negative. So I know that a lot of the stuff that did happen from other people, they didn't know about my body dysmorphia. So it's really nice that them not knowing, I knew that it was genuine. I mean, my husband knew, but he's not a liar. He's not going to blow smoke up your butt. So it was nice that a lot of the people who were kind of being really sweet about everything had no idea that I had to deal with those kind of mental issues. So other stuff that's kind of helped stave off going into full breakdown has been, I stay away from the scale. I honestly am not sure what I weigh right now. I go by how like my clothes are fitting still, my energy levels, if I'm hungry, if I feel like crap. I have stayed away from our scale. I mean, I'm gaining weight and I know that I am, but I'm supposed to be. So only time I get weighed is at my doctor's appointments, and I will kind of glance and see, and I'm like, okay, cool. I don't really put much, because if my doctor's not like freaking out about it, then I'm not going to freak out about it. She knows what's going on. I definitely have been eating balanced. I would say probably, I don't follow a particular macro diet at all, or calorie diet. I definitely go more like of an 80-20, like 80% really like good food for you, like, you know, the vegetables, good meats, fruits, stuff like that. And then, you know, I'll indulge. We'll go out to like eat Mexican or like get fast food, or I'll have like a candy bar or something, you know, when I'm really craving it. But I definitely kept off from cravings. Like if I was craving something that I was like, you know, we can find something else, I was always looking up like craving chocolate. What does that mean? Oh, you probably are craving, I don't know, there's some mineral that if you're craving chocolate a lot, like you might need it. So I would go and find a food, let's just say magnesium. I would go and find a food that was high in magnesium to help with that craving. I would allow myself to like kind of go through those emotions. I wouldn't try to force myself to ignore them, because a lot of the stuff, if you just, you know, bottle it up inside, it just kind of explodes and gets worse. So I definitely would let my mind run with the emotions, but then come back to it. I kept it real and I kept it honest. If you follow me on Instagram or friends with me on Facebook, I was very honest about how I was feeling about my weight gain. I would post, you know, the transformation photos or the Throwback Thursday photos of how I was when I was really lean versus now. So I kept it real. I didn't want to fake like, oh, my pregnancy is amazing, I gained weight and don't care. Like, no, I do, but I'm not letting it get to me. You can care without freaking out. And then lastly, just like keeping the end game in mind. The end game of a pregnancy is a healthy baby, not a lean body. So that's really it. That's kind of what's helped me get through body dysmorphia through pregnancy and not have breakdowns. So that's it. Yeah, those are my tips for going through a pregnancy. I am at 40 weeks plus 6 days now. So I am feeling very large and very in charge though, but I still feel really good. My energy levels are still really high. Despite being exhausted all the time, I can still wake up and get stuff done. So yeah, I hope if you found this and you're also having to deal with body image issues through pregnancy, that whatever I've said will help you out, because I know the struggle. I've been going through the struggle, and just remember, at the end of the day, it's about a healthy baby. And if you end up with that, you have been highly successful. So thanks for watching, and check out the first video in the description and any other videos that you might be interested in.